You're getting a card that says kitten on it.
I'll get rid of that real quick. Piece of sandpaper.
It should say smitten.
So this car needs an interior really bad. But a lot of the stuff that I noticed missing from the interior is sitting here. Here's my heater controls and ashtray that go below. This is important. Center part for the console. Here's some interior trim pieces that I noticed were missing, and I was a little concerned about that, but there they are, and they look pretty nice. And a whole box
That's
of
the trunk floor.
little
Is it
extra stuff, seat belts.
rotted, or is it good?
No, this floor in this is very solid. Matter of fact, the gasket leaks a little bit, but it's really solid back here. And she actually took this towel and soaked up a little bit of water that was coming in here, but nothing's rusted through on this. And I already crawled underneath it yesterday with a light and looked at all the floors and everything, and they look really good. I just love this body style, the rear end on this car.
Yeah, me too. Totally.
As opposed to the one we were looking at yesterday. I just think it looks a lot better.
Dogs
it's got new tires and stuff on it.
Yep, those are nice.
The carpet shot, it needs some gaskets. Hi, we're over here doing a little video of your car. What? I'm doing a little video of the car. I'm going to go ahead and get it.
The ones that are buying it?
Yes. Yay.
Oh, that's enlightening that someone's just not digging your car, huh?
I'm sorry. They said I could just come by and look at it.
Oh, yeah, it's no problem. Do you guys know where my sister works?
We have directions to go there. We were going to look at, there's some parts on the side of the house or something.
I think so. I'm not quite sure.
By the way, I'm Rick. This is Jamie.
Hey.
Hi, I'm sorry. I was just watching Sherlock.
That's all right.
About to get ready for work.
I'd be concerned if I came out and saw somebody opening up my sister's car. Is she your sister?
Yeah, she's my sister.
Car too, but we drove a long way yesterday and looked at one that was kind of disappointing, and this one's got a few issues, but I think it's a lot better car.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. I'm happy. Are you guys going to fix it up?
I'm going to fix it up and keep it.
Oh, my gosh.
I've always wanted one of these, and I do build some pretty nice hot rods.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
This one's a lot better than the
definitely.
one we looked at yesterday.
Alright, I'm going to go back inside, you guys.
All right,
so
thank
much.
you.
I hope you like the car.
We'll be out of here in a minute, and then we'll go see her and give her some money, and this will be a done deal.
Have a great day, you guys.
You too. Thank you.
I like that chrome. Is that a vacuum booster right there?
That's vacuum power booster and master cylinder. Those are both new. You put a new intake on it. Got an aftermarket.
Gosh, she's not shutting up. I have one of these that's chrome.
Oh, you do? Where do you keep
Two
that?
of them, actually.
Jamie, where do you keep that at?
It's in my garage.
Yeah? Where at in your garage?
Well, that's a secret.
Not for long. Anyway, this is, just much better car. Guy just put a bunch of money into this thing, and deal is, the father's been fixing it up for his daughter who wants to go away to college, and what's good about that is Dad's always going to make sure his little girl's safe. So he paid attention to the brakes and all the running and driving components on the car. You know, cosmetic stuff, it needs paint job, a little bit of body work, some interior work. But I know that all the important stuff's been taken care of. Cause anyway, she's wants to go back off to college, and so that's the only reason they're selling it. I think she's making a good decision, because she goes to college, goes to school, gets a good career. She can buy any kind of car she wants, and it won't need fixing up. In the meantime, I'll fix this one.
And don't you have a history with one of these cars that you're, I think it's got new tires on it.
Yeah.
I guess you'll be wearing those out.
Well, I don't really, it's not really the style of tires that I want to have on it, so
But
they're
those are
kind of
all right.
expendable. Those are small block sales, too. $20. I'll pay that.
It's got some boat seats.
So he wants to keep that hood because his daughter wants to do a paint job on it. I like these fenders.
What was that there? Come here. What
Is the other one? Yeah. Okay, I want
are those
those.
seats?
That one's kind of tweaked. They're good for parts, though. What's that right there? Oh, that's the doors. He said he had spare doors with glass. Those
Oh,
are
look, a
nice.
crankshaft. I've always wanted a mailbox.
Look at the doors. They're nice. And they've got door panels on them. They do.
Kind of tight.
All right,
Oh.
so definitely want the part. Just a quick update on my Rally Sport project. Had the interior completely gutted. Got the back seat in now, all my back panels. Put a stereo, some 6x9s back there. All new carpet. Did some work on the dash. Got all my gauges working. All my dash lights working. This is pretty much what I had to deal with as far as the wiring. There was no heat in this car. No heater controls. Nothing going on. Drove it home with ice on the inside of the windshield. There was somebody had started to install a stereo, but all they did was cut out the hole for it, and they didn't even cut the hole all the way out. They cut the hole halfway out and then abandoned that. And all this was just hanging down from the dash. You can see that's under the steering wheel. It actually looks a lot better than it did because none of that stuff was hooked up to anything before. Now I've got my heater controls hooked up all my vacuum lines, my heater switch, and this was an AC car, so I wanted all this stuff to be back like it was supposed to be instead of just kind of unhooked and taped every which way. So I'll be back after I get the dash put together, get my console in, and put my seats in, and this thing will be ready for the road.
Cool, but what do you got back there on the rear of your car?
I've got a new headliner that I'm going to install that my girlfriend got me for Christmas. As you can see, my headliner needs a little help. I don't know if you can see it. It's got some duct tape and some sagging going on. I already replaced all my carpet, fixed up my door panels, got my gauges all fixed up. I have most of the parts that I'm missing for my console, so I'll be doing a lot of that. I'm putting a new dome light in, putting in the new headliner, and I'll be back. And like I said, I'm putting a new headliner in. It's not an easy job, and it doesn't look perfect right now, but I'll stretch it out a little more. And it looks a heck of a lot better than what I tore out there.
Yeah, it
Show them the
does.
moldy old... that's the headliner that was in it. It had some nice duct taped areas, and it was sagging and ripped. That's going to look a lot better.
That happens in our 40s.
Well, today I've got my Camaro where it goes down the road, dependable, starts all the time and everything, and mostly put together. Got to do a little more work on the interior. It's developed this problem where it just sounds like a tank, and it's because it's got the factory exhaust manifolds on it. So today I'm going to upgrade to some headers and maybe like some Flowmasters or something, or maybe some old school glass packs, and just dump the exhaust by the rear end, maybe turn it out before the wheels, and make it sound a lot better. But it sounds bad right now, and it's an embarrassment to drive.
You can't pretend it has a cam in it
Pretend it has a cam.
by the way it sounds. We're in
It sounds
Lebanon.
horrid. Anybody that knows like high performance cars knows the difference between a car that just has an exhaust leak or a car that just runs real good. And this does have a real strong, good running engine, so it should sound good.
Okay, so let's hear it.
That's just lame. That sounded just that something is not right with me. It needs to be fixed. So we'll be back
Hey.
when I get done. We'll take a little shot of all the parts that I'm going to put on it when I get them laid out, and then I'll rip all the old exhaust from the front to the back off and pull the manifold. So what we're replacing up here is the fact. And this engine compartment's actually pretty nice on this car.
Yeah, it is, huh?
And these factory exhaust manifolds.
Nice shiny vacuum booster.
So the offensive item, and where I think it's actually leaking, is this rusty old factory exhaust manifold. And I think it's leaking right there. Can you see that black? That's from the manifold leaking right there onto the exhaust pipe. There's a donut that goes in between there. But we're going to eliminate all that and put some nice headers on there with collectors, and it'll sound a lot better. Yeah, this engine compartment needs a little cleaning up, but there's a lot of good stuff going on already under here. I ran into a little snag yesterday changing up the exhaust on my Camaro. Got everything torn down, took all the old parts off, and removed everything back to where the collectors would go on the headers. And I'm glad that I decided to do this now, because I knew that I had an exhaust leak on the driver's side. This is a driver's side stock exhaust manifold. And you can see the difference between the stock manifold and the headers. The headers are a lot more free-flowing. But anyways, this one had a leak. I broke this stud off removing them, which happens a lot. But this stud here had already been broken off previously, and somebody drilled it out and put a little tiny nut and bolt here, so you can see the black residue around.
This will be on the bloopers.
So you can see that. Izzy, no bark. No, or you're going to get put away. Once you start having problems with factory exhaust manifolds like this, there's not really any cure other than drilling it out and properly tapping it and replacing the studs that's going to fix the problem. But I also found another problem over here on the passenger side that I didn't even know I had, which is this manifold where this butterfly valve is attached is completely cracked right here. And you can see where that might have been making a little bit of rattling. And anytime you can make an upgrade to your car that's going to increase the power, make it look better under the hood, and correct problems that your car has at the same time, it's a win-win situation. But the problem I ran into is I got two sets of headers when I bought this car that came with it, and they are for this size engine, but they're not for this car. And headers have to go around the chassis, the cross member, the suspension, and everything like that. So I went ahead and just went down and bought a new set of headers. It's cheaper to buy new headers than it is to replace the factory exhaust manifolds. And these are just black, but they're not old and rusty, and they haven't been banged up and scraped up and everything. So it's a good economical upgrade for my car, and it'll eliminate some problems that it has.
And these are made for that compartment,
These are made for this car.
because you kind of went through hoops trying to get us
I
there.
did go through some hoops. It's Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of guys don't understand. Some guys want to work on their cars rather than watch the game. I'm checking on the score, but I'd still like to get my headers on. So we'll be back when I get the new exhaust system on to fire it up, and we'll see the difference between it, what it used to sound like and what it sounds like now.
Okay. That's a Holly right there.
Hmm?
Oh, I was talking about your carburetor.
No, that's a quadrupuke.
Oh, I thought you said it was a Holly. That's what you said last night.
No, it's not.
But you did say that.
No,
Yes, you did.
no, you didn't.
We're going to have an argument on camera.
All right. You ready?
No.
Here, pull my finger. Okay, so we're back. I got my exhaust finished. Went through a lot of changes making that happen. Super Bowl Sunday. And people not wanting to sell parts. But I got rid of a lot of the old junk. I changed out my rear bumper because this one was all rusty and somebody had primered it here before. It didn't take very long. It needs to be cleaned up, but it looks a lot better than the one that was on there.
Yep.
But anyways, let's fire this thing up. So remember what it sounded like before, like a battle tank. Anytime you can put money into your car and upgrade it and fix a problem at the same time, it's money well spent. And totally justifiable, right? Because I think it sounds a lot better.
There we go.
It's kind of late, so I don't want to wake the neighborhood up, but I think it sounds a lot better.
It's kind of starting to sound like it's supposed to sound.
Let me toss a cam in this baby.
That's your next thing, right?
Yep. Well, no, my next thing might be I'm going with the old school 70s Krager SS 5-spokes. I've got some on order right now. We're gonna put some air shocks on it, probably raise the front end up just a little bit. And I know a lot of people are saying, what? Cars are supposed to be low. I'm building this like the cars that were in high school when I was in high school in the late 70s.
That
and
taught
I'm
you
putting
to
the
be
tires.
who you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the tires that I want on it. Anyways, I have some getting custom built for it. They're gonna be the Krager 5-spokes. They're gonna fill the whole wheel well up, and they're gonna have the spinner in the center with the Krager SS emblem. They'll look pretty good. Peace out.
Bye.
Actually, have done a lot of work.
You have.
As you know.
Like all of this.
It had no interior when I got it. No carpet, nothing to speak of.
Got a new
Put new
radio.
carpet in it. We redid all the gauges. The gauges had fallen down inside the dash. The lights weren't working. No heater controls. Put the console back together. I still have a couple pieces left to get for it. But I've got a new headliner for it.
Redid the dash. Put in seats to the doors. Did the rear deck back there. 1972 Rally Sport. Chevy Impala.
Still working on it. Still a work in progress.
That's all good. So, hey Rick, what are you up to right now?
Well, I was gonna check out my new rear end.
I'll check out your new rear end. Come on, Trouble, get it done.
Looks like a freaking ashtray with smoke coming out.
You should see in front of our house.
Oh, no shit. Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
What a crazy man.
Oh, he's awesome.
Right on.
He loves that dude. Look at him. Yeah, woo! He wants to burn up those tires and that motor so you can dump that 454 in there.
You gotta pick up all kinds of rock.